Hung was a man who desperately craved recognition. But instead of cultivating self-worth through character, he relied on a single possession, an exquisitely carved, dazzling diamond ring. The ring was his identity, his false pride. It felt heavy on his finger, as if it contained his entire self-esteem. Every evening, he would stand by the village's clear blue lake, meticulously polishing the gemstone until it blazed, casting brilliant, dramatic flares into the late-day sunset. He always wore luxurious traditional attire, intentionally making the ring prominent in every conversation and gesture. Yet this outward complacency masked a deep, persistent fear. The terror of losing the material symbol that anchored his entire sense of self-worth. One tumultuous afternoon, Hung paddled his small wooden boat out into the deep lake. The sky, a mix of dying sunset glow and encroaching dark clouds, mirrored the turmoil in his soul. Distracted by thoughts of yesterday's compliments, he instinctively reached to check the ring one last time, and disaster struck. In a moment of horror, the ring slipped off his finger. He lunged desperately, catching only air, as the magnificent diamond kissed the water's surface, flashing a final blinding light as a farewell, before sinking deep into the dark, silent water below. That moment of loss was not just the loss of an asset, it was the loss of the entire identity Hung had constructed. Months passed. Hung became gaunt and hollow, like a tree stripped of its life force. His once vibrant clothing was replaced by simple, dull garments. He sat alone in a dusty, darkened room, staring vacantly at his bare, lifeless hand. Profound isolation and a sense of futility consumed him. He had lost his symbol, and with it his reason for being. Hung's entire self-perception had been stolen by the invisible emptiness on his finger. He no longer knew who he was without the ring's external glow. The only light left was the dust motes dancing in a stray sunbeam that entered the room, a mockery of his despair. One day, an old Zen master named Tung, with a tranquil face and gentle demeanor, visited the village. Perceiving Hung's despair, the master quietly invited him for a walk along the lake shore where the accident occurred. They walked slowly until Master Tung stopped and pointed toward the water. There, a pure white lotus flower rose perfectly from the thick, dark mud and murky water. It emitted a natural, quiet light with no need to dazzle. "Hung," the master said softly, "where does the lotus find its perfection? From the foul mud or from its own seed?" Hung stammered, "From the mud, master, but the mud is dirty." Yet it needs no gold setting, no intricate carving to be recognized. Its value is inherent. The mud only provides the circumstances for its purity to shine. Your true worth, your inner light, was not lost in the lake, for it was never on your finger. It is born from within, rising above the impurities of attachment and vanity. Hung stared at the lotus, and for the first time in months, a genuine glimmer of understanding cleared the anxiety from his eyes. From that day forward, Hung began to live a simple and genuine life. The void left by the diamond ring was gradually filled with authentic, meaningful connection with his community. He was now content, smiling genuinely as he helped an elderly woman in the village carry her basket, or listened intently to a child's story by the lake. He needed no external light to validate his existence. His face was illuminated by a warm, gentle light from within, the radiance of kindness, respect, and peace. Hung finally understood that the most precious treasure was not in his hand, but in his heart. He was truly rich, not because of what he possessed, but because of what he had become, a person who shines from within.